teachers, staff members new to some of our schools this year are new windows and doors that we were able to purchase through a BEST grant. And we've been working pretty hard to get a message across to folks about how these can be used in supporting our safe and secure schools. And one thing you need to know about our new windows and doors, first of all, the replacements are double paned. And so what they're going to do for us in each building is they're going to allow us to more efficiently, economically cool and heat the building. So that's a major plus. They're also, what the architect says is they're tuned to each classroom. This particular window is going to face more toward the north each day, and so it has very little reflective film on it, and so from the outside it might be a little bit easier to see into the classroom. If you were to go to a window that's on the west side or the south side or the east side of a building, they would probably have film on it. They do have film on it that will reflect a little bit more light, and that's all part of helping to control the climate in each classroom. A question we've all been getting is, now that we have these new windows and doors in some of our schools, do we need to cover them as a matter of security? And actually the answer we're going to give everyone is that these windows and doors uncovered offer a little bit of extra security. I'm purposely taking video of Paula Boozer out there because I want to give the indication that if some stranger were to walk onto our playground or onto school grounds somewhere, having our windows left uncovered could actually be a benefit to us, because it gives us a chance to see if there's someone on grounds who shouldn't belong there. And of course, if any student or teacher sees such a thing, we're asking that they report that.
So we have these beautiful new doors that are equipped with panic bars. So they're easy exit. You simply push and they can quickly exit the building. However, they'll remain locked on the outside, and there'll only be some very strategically placed doors that have the ability where we'll use fobs, a keyless entry, for entry. So each classroom now is also equipped with a lot of exterior glass, these beautiful windows that allow for natural surveillance and passive surveillance. What we're essentially doing is we're extending the secure perimeter of each of our buildings, asking that our staff members do not close blinds. If they do have blinds, they do not close them unless it's for educational purposes only. We want all blinds to remain open so that staff can, and students can, look outside and see if there's something that looks a little bit off or not quite right. They can then report that. So in the event of an emergency, such as a lockout, which pertains to the lock or the threat being on the outside of the building. So a lockout, there's a potential threat outside. In that case, you can either lower the blinds if you feel safer, or you can leave those up, because again, you'll be able to maybe see if that threat is in the immediate area or not, and be able to report that to building administration. So the blind can be up or it can be down during a lockout. During a lockdown, the threat is inside the building, and that's when we're asking you to lock your doors, turn off the lights, and get out of sight. That again, you're going to use your professional judgment on if you have time or you want to pull the blind down if you have that ability in your room. But you also can leave it up because the threat is already in the building. So there's not really a concern about being out of the sight of someone that's outside of the building. So during a lockdown, again, which is when the threat is inside the building, you are going to quickly drop this white card, close the door, and turn off the lights, and get your children out of sight from this door. That is our current protocol, and your interior window door should always be permanently covered or be able to be covered very, very quickly. So thanks to many of our costs of our current renovations coming in under budget, we now have the ability to upgrade every lock in every classroom in our district. And it's going to be upgraded to what we call a push and turn lock. So this is the inside of a classroom, and this lock, to lock the door, you simply push it and turn it and it's locked. Much safer and quicker than our old system with the white cards. The recommendation is that you do keep this lock in the lock position at all times, so that when you automatically close it during a lockdown, it will be locked. But it'll be important for the teacher to make sure they check that and make sure it is pushed in and turned and locked at all times. Okay, so in most of our schools, we have another new system. It's called our lockdown alarm system. So you'll notice next to each fire pull station, there is now a button that says lockdown. It's covered by plastic so it can't get accidentally pushed. But the purpose of this building, this system is if someone identifies an active threat inside of our buildings and it determines if we should go into lockdown, they'll simply flip this up, push the button, and the system will activate. Blue lights will activate, and in some cases there'll be an announcement that comes over the intercom instructing you to lock down, locks, lights out of sight. When this system is activated, lockdown is automatic. No one questions it. You go into lockdown. We will have an emergency response from law enforcement, and they will follow their protocol to release us when the scene is secure. All right, so we happened to run into Jamie Davis at McKinley today. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time, but she agreed to be our model in talking about visible identification. That's something else that we're really going to focus on this year. The number one is our badges. Every district employee will have a badge that needs to be worn from door to door, from the minute they walk into the door to the minute they leave. Also, if they're on campus or any sort of outside duty, even on a weekend, if you're in here on a weekend and you're working, you really need to have your badge on. The reason being is, if law enforcement or the fire department had to respond to an emergency, they would know that you belonged. They would know that you're one of our employees. It also has your name on it, so they can identify who you are and maybe who they need to notify, maybe if you're hurt. It also helps our students and our parents know that we belong in this building. So very important, something we're going to focus on this year. The new addition to our visible identification is the orange safety vest. The reason for that is in specific situations, she's a great model, isn't she? In specific situations when staff members are supervising outdoor activities with students, it's often come to our attention that it's hard to identify the adult in charge. So it's a public relations piece as well as a safety piece. Students who may have a rotating staff member who takes care of them on the playground will now be able to know who to go to in an emergency. When parents pull up and have a question, or they're pulling up and trying to find their child outside after school, they know who to go to so they can find their child. So these will be implemented at the building level for specific outdoor supervisory activities.